r/askreddit. What is your hours into X before it was cool thing?
Swine flu. I got it in February 2008 and was the third reported case worldwide.
Snowboarding, you couldn't even bring them to resorts. 1983.
This is before it was too hot.
Hulu in 2008. It used to be completely free, browser-based with no ads. It was the only way for me to watch new episodes of Heroes every week.
I first saw The Simpsons when it was a sketch on the Tracy Ullman Show and thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I was ecstatic when I learned they were making a full cartoon of it. I watched it religiously up until about season 15 or 16 before I finally switched to every once in a while like we all eventually did.
Another Simpsons season zeroer. I was around 6 at the time, and my parents would let me stay up a bit late to watch the Simpsons sketches. They showed Simpsons roasting on an open fire for the 30th anniversary, and only then did I really realize, oh yeah, I watched this the very first time it aired.
Don't want to brag, but I bought some 95 masks the second week of January.
Someone had a big brain moment.
I thought it was a big brain thing to do when I bought like 30 of them for a big group of friends and I who were going to a summer festival together, when the entire West Coast us was on fire the summer of 2018, causing a lot of smoke problem for some festival campgrounds. Anyway, nobody ended up using a single one cuz we were all busy getting drunk and doing drug and being degenerates. Then COVID hit and I had my galaxy brain moment when the 95 masks were being sold at like $7, 10 a unit.
Sent an electronic mail message from my car using a HAP 48G calculator and a ham radio in 1993. That feat got published in a technical magazine. Nothing about that first sentence sounds cool, but I know the G is for gangster.
I disagree, sounds cool as fuck.
Had Tesla stock at 28.
I remember telling someone about the Roadster back when that was their only car. Me. It's an electric sports car. Them. Electric sports car. Them. Electric sports car. I bought a little shy of $300, sold it for not much more a few months later. In retrospect, obviously wish I'd kept it, but I sold it because that stock was insanely volatile for a long time before everyone decided that Elon Musk was the messiah and just started shooting it into the stratosphere.
Spotify. I remember I had to use a VPN to use it in my country.
I remember when everyone was trying to get an invite code for it before it was open for everyone. I got one just before it opened up.
Skateboards. 1964 or so.
Damn, that's before the Lords of Dogtown.
I was sleeping with my ex long before everyone started doing it.
Nice, nice.
I was into memes when they were called demotivational posters.
I remember going around to stores trying to find all 6 issues of Infinity Gauntlet. I had read one while waiting on my mom to finish grocery shopping, and I was hooked. That made me a dork in the early 90s. But now it's a billion-dollar worldwide phenomenon.
Dude, I remember sneaking over to the comic book rack in the drugstore to read the Infinity Gauntlet series while my mom waited for a prescription.
I came across the Lonely Islands website when I was about 11 or 12, 2/3, before Andy Samberg or the other two, Akiva and Jorma, were big. They had a video where they spliced all these old NES games together into a skit and it was friggin' hilarious.
I never realized that video was them. I love that video. Thank you.
Gmail, 2004-ish, when it was invite only. My friend had a small amount of invites.
And the counter for free storage space would keep going up.
I got Instagram when it was a photography app back in 2011.
Same. I long since deleted that account because no one was using it. I had maybe 10 photos of random stuff I saw. None of my friends knew how to use it or what it was for, so I got rid of it. I miss that old account with the crazy filters.
The How to Train Your Dragon books. Unfortunately, they're still not cool yet.
There's books?
12 of them. Be prepared. They are very different. They're also very, very good. I enjoy the books more fly.
Bitcoin. Altcoins didn't exist when I got started with it. Mandatory disclaimer. No, I'm not a millionaire now.
I kick myself over Bitcoin all the time. I had a few hundred Bitcoins when they were hardly worth anything. I bought a pizza and some C parts and stopped mining.
Hating Bill Cosby. Had to do volunteer work at the local Jell-O museum for 30 hours to graduate high school in 2008. He used to be the spokesperson for Gel. Oh, I had to listen to him talk about Gel. Oh, in old commercials for 30 hours on a loop.
I remember when you could read every comic featuring Deadpool in under 2 hours. This was around the time I said an Iron Man movie, and they got some wash-up to play him. This'll go over worse than Daredevil.
I remember when Deadpool was just a crappy Deathstroke knockoff.
I had a friend in high school ask me in math class one day if I wanted to go to a concert with her that night. Her sister had extra tickets and she thought I'd want to go. It was a New Kids on the Block comeback tour, and I said, sure, why not? My mom didn't mind me going. We sat around chatting before the show, and the opening act was some woman who appeared to be drunk, but her music was really good. Nobody had ever heard of her, and she only did a few songs, but her music was a total earworm that was hard to get rid of once it took hold. Went home that night and Googled her single Just Dance and downloaded it immediately. And that's how I discovered Lady Gaga.
This is a good one. You just never know who's going to make it.
Listening to Nirvana's Blue Song on student radio, NZ, in 1989 and thinking these guys are good.
My favorite Nirvana song.
Elmo, when he was just a minor Sesame Street character. We used to watch Sesame Street in my shared house full of college kids. It was a way to unwind. Sounds silly, but it was a thing. I liked Elmo. He was pretty chill.
Was there marijuana involved? I used to swear by smoking weed, then watching the Smurfs until I passed out.
Here to represent the magic school bus instead of Smurfs. Respect, though.
When I was 4, I got inside our new refrigerator before they plugged it in. I was in there before it was cool.
R/technically Thetruth.
We weren't allowed to have cola much growing up, but we drank a ton of seltzer water. I kept drinking it as an adult, and people made fun of me for how weird it was because it's not a thing people casually drank. They thought it was either a mixer, like they acted as if I was drinking straight margarita mix, or something from a Fro-Fro health store. Then effing LaCroix came along, or whatever it was that made seltzer suddenly cool a few years ago. I mean, I'm glad it's even more common with more flavors and stuff, but I used to get teased so much for it.
I am originally from Europe, where sparkling water is common and the norm. Kept drinking it after I moved to the U.S., tried to introduce friends to it in junior high school, and they all thought it was weird and tasted funny. Now it's everywhere, and I'm so happy. I don't have to go to little European specialty shops or settle for club soda anymore. Same exact thing happened with Nutella. In Europe, kids aren't raised on Peabody. They're on Nutella. New Americans who refuse to even try it.
I probably had one of the first top 10 channels back in 2011 where I would post top 10 video stuff about games. I gave up because it was too much.